Hey, and welcome to the Revenge of the Show. And it's the first time here. We do a whole bunch of different things on this station. I like movies, do movies, metal kids, all kinds of stuff. Science fiction, Star Trek, Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so Spider-Man's coming out this week. So you must probably get to the movie theaters to see a bunch of these movies that I'm going to tell you that I think you should see before they are kicked out of these theaters, because Spider-Man is going to be on a lot of screens. So first off, I want to go into James Bond. I think you should see this James Bond movie. I think it's one of the better Daniel Craig James Bond movies. I think it's a really good movie, actually. It's funny because this movie, along with French Dispatch, which I'm going to talk about, and Dune, have a lot of the same people in them. It's really weird. Hans Zimmer does music for a couple of these different movies. Anyway, the end of the movie, Hans Zimmer music is one of his best scores. I loved it. I like the movie. I like the way that they finish off with Daniel Craig. I think the movie keeps you kind of guessing. It tries to steer you one direction, and all of a sudden it takes a little bit of another turn. You think you know what's going to happen, and then they kind of trip you up in a lot of cases. Rami Malek, I like his what he has to say, the writing. I didn't like his accent too much. But otherwise, go see this 007 movie, this James Bond movie in the theater before it disappears. I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars for that one. The cat doesn't care because she doesn't go to any movies. So then there's Dune. I did a review on Dune. It got flagged because I used the preview to it. I really, really like Dune. It's a beautiful movie. Now, I'll tell you, I talked to some people after they saw the show, and 3 younger people saw it, and I asked them how they liked it, and they said it was like watching paint dry. They hated it. I also asked them if they had any idea what Dune was about, or a book or anything like that. They had no clue about any of that stuff. If you're a Dune fan, you'll love this movie. Even if you're not, if you're into science fiction, I think you'll like this movie. I think the ships are really cool, way better than the 1984 version. That 1984 version, even though it's got some great moments in it, it's a David Lynch. Like when the one guy says, am I alive? And he's like, yes, you're alive. I love that moment. And there's a couple other moments in the original 1984 movie that I really like. This one, it doesn't have that kind of stuff. Now, this is part 1. You got to remember that if you're going to this movie, you'll be surprised because, it ends in a really, really odd spot. I mean, it's really, really odd. And the movie wasn't okayed to be for the second movie until like 2 weeks after. It's done pretty good in the box office, and that's why it's still in the movie theaters. And Hans Zimmer's soundtrack is very experimental. The visuals are great. I mean, yeah, you don't get Patrick Stewart or the late, great Dean Stockwell was in the original one. And you don't get the big, fluffy eyebrows. But I give this movie a 4 out of 5. I loved it. One kid told me that he thought it was better than Star Wars. Anyhow, go see it before it's gone. The other movie that I'm going to talk about is The French Dispatch. Remarkable Wes Anderson movie. It is Wes Anderson. I always mistake the Andersons. But anyway, this Wes Anderson movie, it's probably my favorite. It's beautifully shot. If you're going to see it for Bill Murray, there's not much Bill Murray in it, but go see this movie. I give it a solid 4 out of 5. I loved it. It's shot beautifully, different type of cameras, different camera, black and white color, wide, it's just amazing. There's 3 parts of the movie that are just great. I'm just going to say the painter version, and I love it. I loved this movie. It's a solid 4 out of 5. Maybe a 4.5 almost. I mean, I love this movie. The other movie that I think you should go and see movie theaters before it leaves is Ghostbusters. Really, I thought it looked really good. It's a good looking movie. There's some very funny moments in the movie. It does hold true to the original Ghostbusters. The people that I did talk to, they said that they enjoyed the movie a lot. It's a fun movie. It gets a little slow in some parts. The old gang isn't in it a real lot, but it still holds up, and it's a really nice tribute to Harold Ramis. Go see the movie. before it leaves. It's probably the second best Ghostbusters movie that there is. It's really hard to meet up to the first Ghostbusters, no matter what. I do wish they'd stop making them. Well, you know, it's like, you know, everybody's doing all this stuff. I give Ghostbusters a 3 out of 5. It's entertaining. It looks good. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, see it. I don't think you'll be too disappointed. If you are, I'm sorry. Other movies that I saw, Venom, okay, 2 stars. I'm not going to get too much into that. The Eternals, 2 stars. A little bit long for me. It's still in the theaters for right now. If you're really a comic book guy, I guess those movies are going to be right up your alley. The Eternals, maybe I don't know really anything about them. There's a lot of talking going on, a lot of explaining, a lot of stuff that I didn't really enjoy. It looks really good, and looks, I suppose if you're really into that and you want to see it on the big screen, special effects are pretty neat. So anyway, the other ones I gotta say, French Dispatch, see it on a big screen. Dune, see it on a big screen. Ghostbusters, should see it on a big screen. French Dispatch though, and James Bond, especially French Dispatch. I can't tell you how much I love this movie. I really did love it. I almost went to a 5. I'm not going to go to a 5 because there's some moments in the movie where it's kind of, it doesn't work as well. But there's 3 moments in the movie. There's like little chapters that are just so freaking great. It's so funny. Henry Winkler's in it. You'll see a lot of different stars in it. Anyway, bye-bye. Like and subscribe. Later. Say bye. Say, hey, say it. Look at the camera. Look. She doesn't take direction very well. Look at that camera. Bye-bye.